Hi everyone, this is Derek. First of all, I want to thank everyone so much, not just for the kind words about this project, but really for the enthusiasm I'm seeing brew in our section of the Truth community. I've been very encouraged by the responses to my video dissecting the Chiefs-Raiders game. I thought the energy and positivity of callers into the Gematria effect, Zach's radio show, was awesome. Not just that, but as he mentioned, there were some notably synchronous moments in that show, and I can't help but think that we're all on the right path. So it's been an interesting couple of days for me. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel since the Gematrinator was featured on Zach's channel. The response has been as positive as I could have hoped for, and I am motivated to make this project as big as I can. I also want to thank my personal friends who have requested that I text them every day so they know I'm safe. Personally, I think there's far bigger fish to fry. I mean, if I don't make this file, someone else will. And I don't have any proof of anything. All I'm doing is pointing out what anyone else with a mouse and keyboard can go and find themselves, really. Combine this with a strong faith, a defined mission, and I believe things will work out just fine. Now, first off, I want all the users to keep in mind that this project is still in its diapers, for lack of a better analogy. Probably lack of a way better analogy. Anyway, this is still in beta form, and it's not fully debugged, so it's possible if you do something funky, it might behave odd. I put a fix button here on the Instructions tab. You can click this button if formulas stop calculating or events aren't triggering. So because this is only version 0.3.3, the polished product will have an improved interface, and less experienced users should be able to power through it with ease. I want your suggestions to make this better. If you can think of it, it's probably possible, so please don't hesitate to email me with your suggestions, or if you run into any bugs, my email is down in the description. Thought you might all appreciate my fantasy football matchup this week. I usually just make fun of my opponent, as you can see, and he likes him some Dak Prescott. It's probably ironic that I play fantasy football considering the last video I uploaded, but really, playing fantasy is probably some of what helped me realize that something is up with these numbers. So the link to the Gematrinator can be found in the description as well. You are welcome to download it from my Dropbox. Now please keep in mind, I'm not charging any money for this. I want it to be free. I want people to use these tools to help spread truth and maybe even make discoveries about their own personal world around them. Now I do encourage anyone who finds this useful and has the means to do so to take advantage of the link in the Instructions tab where you can donate to my PayPal account. I do this on my own time and if possible would do it all the time. There are two other links for zip files that contain default databases. One of those contains every word in the Bible, along with a couple of other databases. And another larger file contains every word in the dictionary. I'm going to first show you how to make these databases searchable once you download them, and then I'm going to discuss how you can create your own searchable databases so you can share your findings with others. Although you don't need to, I would suggest creating a Gematrinator folder on your desktop. In that folder, just have the file, the Gematrinator itself, and a subfolder with the databases. So these are all the files I unzipped from the links that I put below. Alright, so down here is your list of tabs. First, let's click on the List tab. Now to import a database, all you have to do is click Import a Database down here at the bottom and locate the file containing the list that you want to add. So I'll start by adding the list from NFL, teams and cities. I would probably advise against adding the dictionary as a searchable database. This will exhaust your computer as this is a huge file. It may work if you have a really nice computer, but you're going to have to wait a while. So now as you'll see on the bottom here, there's a new tab called NFL. I'm going to color this purple, which you can't see, but this just makes it easier to differentiate what kind of tab you're on. Now when you open a database to view it, it's going to be formatted and look like this, which is a nice way to look at it. But when you import it, it's going to look like this. Everything's broken down into its own line. You can do this for as many databases as you want. So if I go back into the List tab and import a second database, I'm going to bring in all of the words in the Bible. So here we see 91,608 values. That's every word in the Bible in each form of Gematria. Now, in order to be able to search through the lists I just added, you need to go up here to the top in the Gematria tab and click Change. Every highlighted page will be included in your searches. So now, if I run a search for Gematrinator, you'll see I get a list of all of these words from all these databases. Much more expansive. So if you'd like to save the word or phrase that you entered, you can do so by clicking the Save button. You can change the list it's saving to by selecting this Change button and selecting a different database. If you want to save to a brand new database, all you have to do is create a new tab. I like to drag them towards the end to keep them organized. Rename it as you see fit. Now when I go back to the Change menu, I can select that brand new sheet and start a database. To begin searching through the new database, you'll just need to select it here at this menu. And then you can save a few searches to this new database, and you'll see that any matches that you've been entering will show up here. Now if it's green and underlined, that means it matches that same exact form of Gematria, and if it's regular text, it matches in a different form. So Gematrinator here you'll see actually matches in 2 because there's no S. A couple other features on this tab. You can enter numbers also in addition to words or phrases, and you'll get a list of all the matches in each form of Gematria below. You can double-click any of the words on the list to run a search for those. Or you can double-click any of the numbers shown. The numbers you see above the results are that number in reduced form, and it will stop at master numbers 11, 22, or 33. Now, if one of these numbers has a colored background, that means it matches one of the numbers here on the Dates tab. So this page gives you all forms of date numerology for any date you enter, in addition to the span between the 2 dates in the calculator. It'll then give you excessive details like minutes and seconds between, but it also calculates the dates between and until birthdays in the box here. This seconds box is pretty absurd, but I did get to learn that I'll be turning 1 billion seconds old in February, so that's humbling, I guess. And on this page, if there are any matches in date numerology between these 2 dates, they will highlight in gold. If that number is calculated the same way for both dates, then that number will be here in green. Now let's take another look at the List tab. This is where I think the real power of this file lies. You can type or paste any number of words or phrases into column A and calculate the Gematria values for each in every form by clicking Populate Database. These words and phrases will now become searchable from the selected database. Once finished, you can click Export Database, and you will get a new Excel workbook that displays the values of each entry from the list you select. Files exported in this fashion can then be sent to others, who will then be able to import it as a list on their own file. You can do whatever you want to format or analyze this spreadsheet, but it does need to remain in this format for you to be able to import it. Alright, so the last feature here is the Dates List page. This is really basic, but it's kind of cool. You can enter a list of names or some other reference in column A, and in columns B and C, you can put the start and end dates for the durations you'd like to calculate. Click Calculate List, and you'll get a new workbook with a table that shows the numerology of the date in column B, the duration between dates in various formats, and then the Gematria of each phrase in column A gets placed at the end. So that's pretty much it. If you're having problems getting it running on Excel or don't have Excel but want to find a way to use it, I'm probably going to have to rely on some of the more tech-savvy members of the community to help in that regard. I know there's a lot of people who want to help out and don't know what to do. This is one way to definitely do it. I still have a full-time job on the side, so my time is a little more limited than I like, and I want to look forward to what this will be doing in the future. So thanks everybody, happy Gematrinating, and more to come.